everybody! How's it going? I know you might be surprised to see me again, those of you who even recognize who I am. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chara. Some of you might recognize me from the hit indie game Undertale. I'm not actually that Chara. I am based on her in a sense, but that's not who I am. Some of you might also recognize me from some videos that Kate made about a year ago, when she was just beginning to explore her gender identity and figure all that out. Some of you may even recognize me from the video that the stream where we were playing Hollow Knight and using me as an avatar. And somebody said miss, and that broke her trans egg, and that happened exactly 1 year ago. And so I'm kind of here to celebrate that, I suppose. Well, that was sorry. Sometimes the hand tracker will just try to strangle me. Apparently, that's a thing that you just have to deal with when you live in a virtual space with a hand tracker. Anyway, So she tried to do a couple of vlogs to celebrate her 1 year Transiversary, which is today, May 12th. You may not see this till the 13th because I still have to put it together and record it and everything. And it's really late at night because she didn't have time to do this till after work. But she tried to record a couple of things yesterday, and they were fine, but she kind of rambled for a while and basically just said the same things that she said in vlogs and blogs and stuff beforehand, and she wasn't very happy with it. So she was going to try to do one today again, but she kind of ran out of spoons today. So we thought it might be fun for me to do it, since I was kind of the one who was here the whole time, as Sam Reich might say. I just said Reich. I can't say his name. I'm sorry. Sorry, Sam Reich. Anyway, I've been here the whole time. And when she finally, her egg cracked, I did go away for a little while. But I never really left. Because for a long time I was kind of the keeper of her feminine identity, and then when she took that for herself, I wasn't needed for that anymore, but I'm still around because sometimes you smack yourself in the face, just like happened there. Sometimes you just need someone to help you through when you've lost all your spoons. And today she ran out of spoons, for various reasons. Also, we thought it just kind of might be like a fun little bookend, to have me here to celebrate her today. So that's basically, my gosh, this hand tracker is just not wanting to cooperate. And also my facial expressions are going all over the place. We're having a grand old time. A grand old time. We're a grand old flag. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. As you can tell, I haven't been in public for a while, so I'm kind of a little nervous about doing this. Little camera shy. It's been a while. But she wanted me to do this because she really wanted to mark the occasion. And it's been a year now. My gosh. It's been a year now. Her life has been transformed. And it's so much better now, really, for her. Even though some days she runs out of energy, life is so much better for us. And I don't think that the difference, I don't think we can emphasize how huge of a difference this was. My gosh. Because maybe I'll just hold both hands up and then the hand tracker won't randomly try to hit me in the face. Because for her her life has been given back to her by transitioning and by coming out. Um, and and we're glad that everyone who's watching this have most likely, unless we decide to make this public, has been a part of that journey. Um, I've been grateful for you all. She's been grateful for you all. Um, as yeah, I know for some of you it's kind of weird that I'm like talking about her in the third person, where you're like, well, how? What does that mean? Um, that's a long story, one that I'm not willing to get into. I kind of, um, I'm. She talked about it on a blog post once, where she ended with me leaving. I didn't actually leave. I just took a leave, I guess. And we're still trying to figure out what I am. But that's beside the point. Today we're, my gosh, that's what I get for putting my hand out. Today we're celebrating her. And also she wanted me to personally, those of you who are saying this, thank you. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. That one was deliberate. That wasn't just my hand wigging out. I was actually. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to her. It means a lot to both of us that so many of you have been so supportive of this journey. Because a lot of people haven't. Or they have, but not conditionally, I guess you would say. Like especially earlier on, a lot of people that hadn't gotten used to it were just cutting her out and putting her on the back burner while they tried to sort through their feelings, and often never quite did. And so she remained a part of these people's lives that they never quite got back to dealing with, and that's been hard. And also, I want to put down my hands, but I'm afraid I'm going to strangle myself. So let's hope that doesn't happen. And also, just things like at work have been a roller coaster. Sometimes people have been very supportive. Sometimes people have ignored her entirely. Sometimes people have told her that she's terrible and that she should detransition if she's not ready to be a woman. That was the moment, by the way, when she was told that. That's when I came back, because that broke her. That absolutely devastated her when she was told that, and I needed to come back and deal with life while she put herself back together after that. I want to make one thing clear. If you're ever friends with a trans person and that trans person isn't perfect or does something that you don't like, regardless of how bad it is, don't ever reference their gender if you need to chew them out or chastise them or anything. Don't make it about gender, especially when it's not actually a gender thing. But even if it is, don't ever tell them that they are illegitimate, or, my gosh, there went, illegitimate, or that they deserve, or that they don't deserve to be the gender that they are. For whatever reason, never do that, because it breaks people in ways that I don't think many cisgendered people can even imagine. That was really hard. But we're not here just to be depressing. We're here to celebrate, because that was one incident. There have been a lot of other dysphoric moments, of course. Most of them in the first 6 months of this whole experience. I think in the second 6 months, ever since she got her name changed, and ever since she got her like her hair correct, and just has learned basically how to to express her gender better in public. She's not been misgendered once in public since February, which is fantastic. In fact, oftentimes she gets gendered correctly, not just tacitly by people not referencing her gender, but by literally people being like, you know, here's your food, honey, or may I take your order, dear? Apparently, we go to a lot of the restaurants. It's fine. Fast food, whatever. Stores. The reason I'm bringing up fast foods and stores and stuff like that is because I think that's where often you get the most authentic reactions from people, because friends don't see you as a person, like a faceless person in the crowd that they're going to make a snap judgment about the type of person you are. There are people that are Kate's friend that see her and immediately would call her a woman regardless of how she presented, because that's how she has expressed that she wants to be known. And there are people that will completely misgender Kate no matter how feminine she looks, because to them, they've never made that leap. And often it's like old friends and family members that have the most difficult time making that leap, especially if they don't quite understand how important it is for them to do that. But strangers in public, they, I believe, are a better metric of really if you're able to pass. And we got to that point in February, which has been so beautiful for both of us. That she's finally able to be herself out in public. Now, it takes a lot of work. We still have to, put on the makeup. She still wears the hair. And she can't wear like what I'm wearing. If she went out like with just like a crew cut shirt and like a kind of a jacket hoodie thing, like I'm wearing now, she would probably get misgendered, which isn't fantastic because it means that we still have a ways to go before we're really able to just exist as we want to. We kind of have to overcompensate the femininity, which isn't necessarily a problem because she likes looking feminine. And emphasizing her femininity is something that gives her joy in more than just because she's passing, but like for herself. Like she enjoys skirts and makeup and feminine looking hair. Like it makes her really happy. And it makes me happy that she's happy. So that's not necessarily a problem, but there are some days when you just don't have the energy to put into your look, and you just need to go to the store to pick up some crackers. But she can't quite do that yet without running the risk of being misgendered, which kind of sucks. But we're getting there. I think with time and more hormones, possibly getting her hair grown out a little bit so she can stop wearing the toppers. We're still trying to work on that. We think it's pretty close. She posted some pictures not too long ago about it. We're close. We're considering maybe going to a stylist, seeing what they can do for her. But for now, we're still wearing the toppers because I think that works a little better with her bangs. She's got longer hair than I do now, so that's something. Just not in the front. Anyway, but yeah, overall, she's gotten a lot better in touch with her emotions. She's gotten a lot better in touch with her true self. And it's been really nice to see her grow that way. And I'm sure it's been nice for all of you to also see her grow that way. I know that not many of you encounter her on a daily basis or deal with her very often, other than in, online spaces, social media, whatever. So you don't necessarily see the day-to-day the reality, though you do see a lot of the milestones. And maybe that's easier to judge because you can actually compare what she was a month ago to what she is now, or and not have to look at the middle of the whole thing. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon. I thanks everybody for all of your love. Thank you all for all of your support. I know that for me, it's been really nice to not have to be her only support, which I honestly was for quite some time, truly. And a lot of you after she started transitioning have kind of come out of the word work and kind of eased that burden that I'm not needed as much. Sorry, I didn't mean to look mad. There, I'm actually okay with it. Because it means that she's learning to find people outside of herself and to share with the world who she is. And that's such a beautiful thing. So please continue to support her for my sake, for her sake. Sometimes it gets lonely because she's still living at home in not necessarily the most the best environment to just have daily support. She very rarely gets constant support from like real life people. She posts a lot because I think she wants people to be invested in her daily, and I know that's a big ask for people, which is why I think she's trying to spread it around with just like making posts on media as opposed to contacting one specific person and being like, hey, you're my rock. I don't know if it's helpful or healthy, but if you can, check in on her, okay? Make sure she's doing okay. A lot of the time she is, but sometimes she's not, and if she's not, she may not reach out. She may just run out of spoons like she did today, and that's why I had to come out. But she loves you all. We both are. I would say I love you all, but honestly, like, I'm not really the person to say that. That's for her to say. But I will say on her behalf that thank you. And we're both excited to see. We're both excited for me to punch myself in the chin one last time. Hopefully, just one last time. Maybe it'll happen again. But in any case, you all are awesome. You all are beautiful, and happy Transiversary to Kate. And to all of you, may your Tuesday be a good Tuesday, because you probably will see this on Tuesday, even though I'm recording this late on Monday because I still fed it. That's my spiel. Let's thumb sideways, because I can't do a thumbs up. Anyway, I will possibly talk to you at some point. Possibly I'll never see you again. Either way, this has been fun. So, goodbye!